Friends, how are you doing? I hope everyone is well. Let's get right into the conversation about SoFi here and what has happened. So we had Friday here and the market ended, and we had a great week in the market, and obviously we're expecting even bigger, better numbers in the market next week. I think what the market is doing right now, obviously everything, like kind of what I think a lot of us have thought here and what I've been saying here is that as we continue to see the MAG, do well here, the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, Dow, everything run here, have confidence and do well, it's going to drag everything else with it, and we're seeing that a lot here. So SoFi, obviously, this was the last day of the market, but first day we had here essentially the second day really with SoFi announcing that they were doing this dilution. So with that stock offering, so with that, this is not something where I am concerned. I don't look at this and go like, oh my God, this is the end of the world. I think this is a moment where you have one of the last opportunities to maybe start getting into SoFi at this range right now where it's at, this $20 field. I am still, how I felt about SoFi last week, I still feel about SoFi right now. I think this is a very underrated stock. I think that I think a lot of the clear-cut imagery clues everything that need to be there for this to do really, really well going into 2026 is right there in front of us. Amazing quarterlies. We've got a Q4 coming out here at the beginning of next year. We know it's gonna be over $1 billion. I mean, there's just no way they're not gonna hit this. I mean, it's just pennies at this point what they need to get over. Essentially, they're going to come out with this great quarterly. And two, we should hear something soon. Yes, the S&P 500 inclusion talk. Is it going to happen? Are they going to, what can happen there? That would be something phenomenal. I mean, that would start off things tremendous here. So SoFi, with this, I was kind of trying to get a feel today for what like the news was. What are people saying? What are these analysts saying about SoFi right now? And a lot of it is obviously they're trying to get clicks on their articles, and they're talking about what's going on here. But when you really dig into what's being said right here, like I think a lot of us that have been here building up position in SoFi, everything's still the same. SoFi, when they announced that they're doing this, they came out, Anthony, the CEO, came out here and said like, hey, we're putting this money where we need it. We need this capital to put right back into SoFi, essentially. And honestly, I'm okay with this. I really am. I don't think this is something to be worried about. I don't think that people should be like very losing their mind over this. SoFi, is still holding this good $20 position, and I think this is dust in the wind. By next week, when the Feds come out here and start talking, there's interesting things that are going to start, happening here. This is literally going to be where the chips start, falling on top of each other, where it kind of just, this is going to really be a river that flows right into next year, and it's going to drag a lot of things with it, what's about to happen here. So essentially next week, yes, rate cut, that looks like it's going to happen. That will be the last rate cut with Jerome Powell. And I know people may be sick of me saying this, but these are key elements that are going to shape the rest of the year, undoubtedly. So we're going to have this third rate cut here, and this will be the last one with Jerome Powell. Jerome is out in May, but the other really special thing that's happening here, that's supposed to be happening here in December, not that this stuff ever happens when it's supposed to happen or when they say it's going to happen, but T-Pain here, Trump, is supposed to announce the next person to take over for Jerome Powell in May. So with that, whoever Trump picks, he's going to pick someone who is going to go for rate cuts. They're going to go for rate cuts. Okay. What do you think? What do you think people are going to start to really look at? What do you think Wall Street's going to start to look at, going for 2026? This is where this last big push could really start to show itself going into next week. Okay, rate cut, maybe Trump waits till right there. Knowing Trump and how he likes to poke jabs and do all that, he may announce it the same day the Feds do rate cut. I don't know. With that, we could have a spectacular week next week, okay, in the market, and who knows how this is going to work. The last rate cut we had, we really did not see a push off that rate cut until the following week. So this is kind of where the Tom Lee conversation comes up, where Tom Lee is believing that the last 11th hour here of December of this year, we're going to see the S&P 500 run heavy. So, okay, great. We'll take it at any point this month. But with that, it's going to drag things. So with this last rate cut, a new assessor, being, a new king being crowned as taking the Fed chair, which this person is going to be very optimistic, very different than Jerome Powell. There's no doubt about it. We're going to see the market start to show signs from that. The market could just pop off of the announcement of the new person if it's not the same day as the rate cut. With that too, this is, like I said, where Wall Street will be looking at more ETFs. This is where Wall Street will be looking at bank stocks, REIT stocks. This is because they know what's going to happen. They know there's going to be rate cuts going in next year. And whether you're for or against these rate cuts, that's a whole nother conversation. But as investors, all we can do is sit here and use it as power for us. I mean, I truly believe that's what investors have to do with these kind of things. They have to use it to help themselves. So if we know we're going to get rate cuts, what do we know? People can borrow money at lower rates. And this is where banks will use this. They know they're going to make money off of it. They know people are going to come scratching for these things. SoFi has so much ammunition to do so well next year. It's almost unfair if you really think about it. And two, my God, if we start to hear rumbles about SoFi going into the S&P 500, oh my God. I mean, this is why I still hold this conversation very, very dear to my heart, where SoFi could easily start leapfrogging into some very nice price ranges going into next year. With what we could see next week, I'm not going to be shocked to see SoFi push back up into $28, $29, maybe even $30 here, depending on how aggressive the market gets. It looks like the market is trying to get more aggressive. I mean, it's doing great right now. There's no doubt about it. I think a lot of us are, enjoying what's going on right now. But it's not like SoFi has, fallen off a cliff here that it cannot get back to. We've seen SoFi take a lot more damage than what it's taken here lately. This is why I don't get people. Now, I went on StockTwits this morning. I was like, what are people saying about this right now? Because I like to see what people are saying and what's kind of the feel out there. SoFi fell to this $27 position, and it kind of held this all day. It really didn't do much more than that. So with that, it's kind of saying like, okay, this might be it. This might be the lowest we see here. Because, think about this. When we had the market crash here, most of November, SoFi went down to $25 off of all of that mumble jumble. Now we've just had SoFi say, hey, we're doing dilution, we need the money. We're doing a stock offering, we need the money. And we're putting it right back in the company. I think if you're in SoFi for the long run, if you're in this relationship with SoFi, you look at that and you go, okay, I don't like that the stock's gone down. Maybe I do, so I can buy more, but I'm okay with this because it's not like, so if you're new to SoFi, I'm here to inform you, they're not doing bad on a balance sheet. They're doing great numbers. They're very aggressive. And I think these are the very tailwind moments of something very great happening into the future here, where SoFi is going to be a huge competitor for a lot of these other banks. You're seeing SoFi each year push into these partnerships, push into building these pillars of business. And, think about what 2, 3, 5 years looks like from right now with SoFi. That's a lot. It's gonna go by like that, man. It's gonna be 3-5 years from now. We're gonna be 3 or 5 years. I didn't say 35. 35, I can't imagine, but 3 or 5 years from now, this is gonna be a completely different situation. And it's not like SoFi is going to get to this place where it starts to have trouble. Okay, SoFi is obviously in a very aggressive company right now with finding new people to, customers, essentially opening accounts with them, and two, we're each quarterly we're seeing, the quarterlies raise significantly. So yeah, don't worry. Like I said, I went on Stock Twist this morning. I just saw some people like, oh well, I'm done, I'm out, this is bad news, they're needing money. Yeah, they need some more money, but they're making money too. They are building a really big company right now. This isn't like SoFi, this little bitty bank. No, SoFi is going for top crown position, and they've got competition out there. There's competition out there right now. I think I've made this argument, and I'll probably make a new video on it, kind of see where things are at here right now. But, I think there's an argument right now that SoFi could jump past Robinhood here. I think it's going to take a little bit longer to see how this plays out. We're talking probably Q1, Q2 to see where they land here with quarterlies, but I think there's an argument to see that SoFi could get past Robinhood. I mean, if Robinhood cannot keep up with what they're doing here, in the past quarterlies this year, they've been great, but they've been up and down. So if SoFi can just keep this slow, steady pace, they're gonna be right on them. We're going to be right on Robinhood here. So, friends, be encouraged. It's a good position. SoFi is the right place for investors right now. There's no doubt about it. I mean, this is a golden apple we're holding here. So, everyone, take care. I wish you well, and I will talk to you soon. Bye, everyone.